Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Nedarim Chav Gimel. We're doing Iyun Benzion. Yesterday we started this Gemara where there are a couple of cases where people didn't have big Rabbanim, didn't have a way to be Mater Neder, and then the Rabbanim, the basin that was trying to Mater Neder, they were getting very frustrated. They weren't able to Mater the Neder. They would the whole day they'd be moving Shimsha Latula, Latula the Shimsha, then be moving from the shade to the sun to the shade, to cool off, to get hotter. It was too cold. It was too hot. And then they say, did you make this neder knowing that the Rabbanan would be, sacrificing so much to mat your neder? And he says, no, I didn't make the neder on such condition. So therefore, they're mat the neder. And here we had a case today where the Gemara says that there was a certain person from a laundromat, dry cleaners. He said, and again, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi wasn't able to matter the neder, and this person from the laundromat obviously saw that it was upsetting the Rabbanan and were trying to matter the neder, so he hit him over the head with a hanger, let's say. He hit him over the head with something, and he mattered the neder himself by saying, if I would have known that this person would hit me over the head with a hanger, I wouldn't have made the neder. So the Gemara on that question, the Gemara says it's no law, and the Gemara says it's not considered no law because a lot of apikorsim would go and hit people for the slightest reason. If they're a rabbanan, if they're a rabbi, maybe Rayosu was a rabbi, the slightest reason he would go and try to inflict pain on him. So it's a common thing. It's not called nolad. So generally, the way people understand nolad is something that when I took the neder, I never would have known. Something happens later on. The whole idea of making a pesach for a neder is that there's some knowledge that I'm lacking at the time that I took the neder. Had I known about that knowledge, which was present, right? That knowledge was present. That fact was present at the time I took the neder, but I didn't know about it. It's like a mekatos. So therefore, adaiti dahaki. If I would have known about that, I never take a neder. How do you have that over here where he's taking a neder, and then when they're being matter the neder, right? They had a hard time being matter the neder. So he says, right, had I known that it was going to be hard for them matter the neder, they'd be fidgeting all day from the sun to the cold, from the cold to the sun. So it really sounds like no. The Gemara is going to ask on that, how is that no one? And here, this case, right, the Gemara does ask no, but so I like to explain that. And the second question, the word nolad also means, from Pirkei Avos, haroas hanolad. You're supposed to see haroas hanolad. Ezel chacham haroas hanolad. Someone who's smart, he sees what's going to happen. It means that it already exists, right? Haroas hanolad, not something that, right, unexpectedly happens. It's something which there's reason to expect it might happen already, and right now the reason is already present, right? It might develop into something down the line. Rolas nolad, it's already born. Nolad is already born. It's already present over there. It progresses eventually into something far more disastrous along the line. Rolas nolad already exists. So I like to suggest that the reason you're not matir, you're not matir something with nolad. It's not because I didn't know about it at that time, because like nolad, rosh nolad, it is present at that time. It's just the way that they're being matir these nedarim on this daf is not through a pesach, but rather is through charata. Charata is the second way to be matir a neder. Charata basically means that yes, I knew what I knew at b'shas haneder. Like here, nolad, I knew all the facts of b'shas haneder. Nonetheless, now that I see what's going on, right, I'm mischared. I regret that I took the neder. And really, charata works by, it's sort of like making a pesach in a certain way. It's like, I regret taking the neder, right? If I would have known what I know now, why do I regret taking the neder? Because something happened right now, something new happens right now that makes me feel bad that I took the neder, right? If I knew how bad it was, I never want to take. That's what charata means, right? Charata means when I regret doing an avera, let's say. If I knew how bad I would feel right now, I never would have taken this thing upon myself. I feel bad right now. It's sort of like a little bit of a pesach, right? So charata, as we mentioned, the difference between a pesach and charata. Pesach, you're mata the neder mikoro retroactively, like it never occurred. Charata, the neder occurred. You're just being mavatal it now. You're annulling it now. So that's the case over here when in the first two cases we talked about yesterday, when the Rabbanon were not able to mata the nether and they were fidgeting and going from the sun to the cold to the sun, right? He knew everything was Shas net there, but it's using charata. The Gemara didn't say. The Gemara said they're mata the net. Doesn't tell you how they're mata the nether. Not through Pesach. They're using charata to mata the nether. That he regrets that he's causing sar to the Rabbanon that they're trying to mata the nether. He didn't, knowing now that he's causing so much sar to the Rabbanon. If he knew that, he never would have taken the nether. And that's basically charata. That's what the Gemara is saying. He's regretting taking the nether. And then the same case, the Gemara says again, the Rabbanon are having trouble, and they matter the nether because he got hit over the head by the hanger. Um, so the Gemara asked, that was nolad. It's nolad. The Gemara says it's nolad because, not because nolad really works. We're talking about using charata, using regret to matter the nether. So if nolad, right, you knew about it. Nolad means that I knew about it, not that I didn't know about it. People think Nolad means that I didn't know about it. Nolad means that it's already present. It's going to progress into something worse. But I already know about it. If I already know about something, I can't use charata. The reason you can't matter with Nolad is because I can't use charata and say I regret now. If it was already present in a small fashion in the beginning, I can't say regret it now because you knew about it originally. So that's what the Gemara says. The Gemara says it's Nolad over here because at least you entertain the possibility. That it wouldn't be there would be no hataras in the Nedarim, and there's nothing that changes that. And the Gemara answers it's not considered nolad because it's common for the Rabbanan to for people to cause pain to the Rabbanan, to Rav Yishmael Rav Yossi, to cause pain to him, to hit him over the head with a hanger. It's common for that to happen, and therefore there's something which changed over here, right? At the time of the neder, he entertained the possibility. That's why it was no. He entertained the possibility they might hit him over the head. Some guy might hit him over the head with a hanger, but he didn't think it was shliach. He didn't think it was commonplace. And then what the Gemara is machadesh is that it's commonplace for, and he didn't know that. He didn't know that it's commonplace for people people to mitzar the Rabbanon, to hit him over the head with a hanger. It's commonplace. So that did change. It was something that changed. So even though it was nolad, where he could have known it originally, but it was a chash. It wasn't something that he really put so much credence to, gave so much credence to. He finds out that it's a common thing. He didn't know that original Rabbi Yosef, so therefore it's something which is new, which he can regret over here, and therefore he's using charata to imata the neder. That's what the Gemara is saying. That's why it's not considered nola. Nola only where something was known and it develops into something, but whatever it developed into, you possibly could have envisioned before. And here he never could have envisioned something because he didn't know about what people who are Amaratzim would do and hit him over the head with a hanger. I hope you know today's year is a little complicated, but it'll be explained as we go through the Masechta. We talk more about the concept of Nolad.